Now, Sister Azora had a question. Could you?
It says, she said, how does it connect with the Tower of Babel? What were they trying to reach, and what were they trying to get control of?
All right. Now, in the Tower of Babel, there's an explanation given in Josephus, the book of Josephus, that's really good. And in the book of Josephus, he was a Hebrew scholar and scribe, and he explains in there how Nimrod was so wicked that he decided to begin to build this tower so that in case Yahuwah sent another flood on the earth, that they would be so far and so tall above it that they could escape judgment. You know, and this was a generation that was not far removed from the flood happening. So for them to even conceive that instead of humbling themselves before the Most High God is a very wicked thing. And next, besides that, is that let's go to the book of Ephesians 6.
It was Ephesians 6, correct?
Yes, Ephesians 6. Ephesians 6 and 10. Let's start there.
The book of Ephesians chapter 6, beginning at verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in Yahuwah and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
That's right.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
So Nimrod wanted to build this tower so he can be up there with the gods of the spiritual wickedness in high places, the rulers of the darkness of this world. These unclean spirits and fallen angels, he wanted to be up there and set his idol up there in that tower. So he did that, and the majority, a lot of these demons that they were worshiping were the Watchers and the children of the Watchers. And the Watchers were, their job was they were guardians of these secrets of heaven. So they took these secrets of heaven and then perverted it and had mankind worship them. Let's go to the book of Enoch. You have an extra book of Enoch here? All right, let's go to the book of Enoch and let's go to chapter 8. And let's start at verse 2.
The book of Enoch, chapter 8, start at verse, you said 2?
2.
At verse 2. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication. And many were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. Semjaza taught enchantments and cutting of roots, Amaros, the resolving of enchantments, Barakijal taught astrology.
So these are the rulers of the darkness or the spiritual wickedness in high places. What did these angels, what did that last fallen angel teach?
Astrology.
Astrology. So they took the knowledge of the heavens and turned it into astrology, which is a religion or a cult based on the worship of the Watchers. Go ahead.
Kokabel, the constellations.
The constellations are that wheel right there of the zodiac. Go ahead.
Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Arachiel, the signs of the earth. Shamsiel, the signs of the sun. And Sariel, the course of the moon.
All right. And as men
perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven.
So Nimrod was trying to be with these demons and these fallen angels, and that's why he built this tower, so he can be up there with them. But again, this was a wicked thing that they taught, and we see here a little bit later on that the Most High says that what they taught, they thought that these watchers thought they had divine knowledge, but what they knew wasn't even all that great. All right? Let's go to chapter 15.
Sister Rhonda had said that she always thought it was wrong, and now learning otherwise and learning that it was used by our forefathers. I guess in everything there is a good and an evil side. And so to me, this is one of those things where a lot of the camps or congregations will condemn something without realizing our Father did it first. It's like they know what the devil does. He tries to steal everything from the Most High and twist and change it.
That's right.
But it's like in certain things, and this is one of them, they kind of like they forget that as if Satan was the originator of it.
That's right. That's a very good point you make. Let's go actually to just edify on that before we go to Enoch. Let's go to the book of Luke 11. Hold your places here. Go to Luke 11. This is exactly, Yahoshua describes to a T what a lot of these camp leaders do, or these elders in Israel. And they hold back people from finding out the truth and come up with Jewish fables and false reasons as to why people should not inquire into the truth. All right? Let's go to Luke 11 and 52.
The book of Luke, chapter 11, verse 52. Woe unto you lawyers.
Woe unto you lawyers. What does woe mean?
Destruction.
Destruction. That's right. God is not happy with them.
For ye have taken away the key of knowledge.
They've taken away what?
The key of knowledge.
So a lot of the elders in Israel, they take away the key of knowledge. You have a lot of people who say, oh, you shouldn't learn Hebrew. Learning Hebrew doesn't mean anything. What's some of the other fables they come up with? Learning the constellations is not important.
Using the Father's name correctly.
That's right.
Or his son's name.
Or his son's name.
Yeah.
They frown upon and teach Israelites to despise these things, to despise God's name and the name of Yahoshua, his son.
Because I don't understand Hebrew Israelites that use the other name.
Yes.
I don't understand. And I say that because in Greek nor Hebrew does a J exist. So there's no justification for it in either language.
That's right. And you have some of these groups, and one of these groups especially, this purple and gold group, who are a bunch of Pharisees. Their elder and all the people in that congregation, they got Hebrew names. But then they want to give the Messiah a Greek one. And it's not even a Greek name because, like I said, there is no J in Greek. So how will they give themselves names in Hebrew, but then when it comes to the Father and the Son, they're not allowed to have any Hebrew names.
Wow.
So they're some of the biggest hypocrites out there.
Yes.
And filled with people who can't think for themselves. A lot of these people will pack into these congregations and they are like blind leaders of the blind. They don't stop and think, oh, how could your name be Nathaniel, which is a Hebrew name, but the name of the Most High or his son is a Greek or English name? And then they despise or they put down people who want to know the truth. So he says, what? Woe unto you lawyers for what? For what?
For ye have taken away the key of knowledge.
For you've taken away the key of knowledge. So the key of knowledge they take away from their people. And they're supposed to be teaching the people knowledge. Go ahead.
Ye entered not in yourselves,
And them that were entering, and ye hindered. So, because they don't know it, and they can't figure it out, and some of the people within those congregations or communities, they're trying to seek it, they hinder them and hold them back. And then nobody knows. And then the knowledge is lost. And then when you have Egyptologists who come up to them and say, oh, well, Egypt is the founder of astrology and the knowledge of the sun, moon, and stars, Israelites can't even answer it. They got to deflect or change the subject or think of something else to say. Instead of attacking and going directly at them and say, that's a lie. Yahoshua is the founder of the astrology. And he is the center of the knowledge of the sun, moon, and stars. And they came from our patriarchs and our forefathers. They discovered these things and then taught the heathens and the Gentiles like the Egyptians. They can't even prove that. And the Bible is sitting right here. Enoch is sitting right here. Jubilees is sitting right here. The book of Yahushua. All these books right here and these camps, you notice, they tell all their people not to even go into any of these books. These are the same camps that will tell you, do not read the book of Yahushua. Do not read the book of Enoch. Do not read the book of Jubilees, because they're holding back the key of knowledge. All right?
Sister Rhonda said that they use the excuse that the word says that he shall be called by the name that's known by all the Gentiles.
We are the ones who teach the Gentiles the name, not the Gentiles teaching us. Yes. So they follow Israel, and Israel is to teach them the name of Yahuwah and Yahoshua, and then the Gentiles know who God is. Yes. Salvation is of the Jews. John 3rd chapter. Not salvation is of the Gentiles. They have to come to us to learn. So that's so hypocritical of a lot of these camps or these congregations. All right, so now let's go back to Enoch and see what happened to pervert this knowledge. Enoch, let's go to chapter 16. Enoch chapter 16. And let's read, it's a short chapter, so 16 and 1.
The book of Enoch chapter 16, beginning at verse 1. From the days of the slaughter and destruction and death of the giants, from the souls of whose flesh the spirits, having gone forth, shall destroy without incurring judgment, thus shall they destroy until the day of the consummation.
So Yahuwah killed all these Nephilim, all these giants, but their spirits were roaming and allowed to roam the earth until the day of judgment. And that's what ghosts are, and that's what demons are. These giants whose bodies, physical bodies have died, but their spirits yet roam the earth looking to possess people. Go ahead.
Verse 2. The great judgment in which the age shall be consummated over the watchers, and the godless, yea, shall be wholly consummated.
So when Yahuwah brings judgment, he's coming back for these watchers. He did not forget what they did thousands of years ago. He ain't forget. He just gave them a little bit of time before the judgment. Go ahead, to refine us.
3. And now as the watchers who have sent thee to intercede for them, who have been aforetime in heaven, say to them, you have been in heaven, but all the mysteries had not yet been revealed to you, and you knew worthless ones.
So they making a religion called the Zodiac, or what do they call this thing? The religion? Astrology. But they're worthless secrets. So read that again.
You have been in heaven.
Let's read from 3 again.
Okay, verse 3. And now as to the watchers.
Who Nimrod was worshiping. Go ahead.
Who have sent thee to intercede for them.
And they wanted Enoch to pray to God for them. When their angels should be praying for mankind. God was like, no, you should be, Enoch, don't pray for them. They should be praying for men.
Who have been aforetime in heaven.
They used to be in heaven.
Say to them.
You have been in heaven, but all the mysteries have not even been revealed to you. So these fallen angels, they think they had such profound and great knowledge, and God was like, that ain't even nothing. You don't even know nothing. You knew this little bit. God said, I gave you this little bit to test you, to see if you would walk in righteousness, and you failed. And you think you know secrets of heaven, and you really don't know nothing. So what the Egyptians and the Chinese and what all the different zodiacs that they follow today, Chinese astrology, Egyptian astrology, and all of it, they really don't even know nothing. Because the center of it, who is the bridegroom, they don't even recognize him. So read it. 4.
You have been in heaven, but all the mysteries had not yet been revealed to you. And you knew worthless ones.
But you knew wasn't even worth nothing.
And these in the hardness of your hearts you have made known to the women.
You have made known to the women. So just like in today's time, the object is to get the women and corrupt them, because in these last days, these Nephilim and these watchers, they're corrupting women because they want to lay with them again. They want to come out from their hiding spots in these last days, and they want to impregnate some women again and create a new breed of Nephilim.
Is that why all the psychic readers and
Most
all of
them
this are
women.
women?
Yes.
Okay.
They're looking for women to inhabit because they want to give birth to Nephilim again. They can't necessarily give birth to Nephilim by possessing men. So they want to possess women so that they can lay with these women, and these women can give birth to the giants. And that's why when we rebuke the sisters, because we're trying to prevent them from falling into the same trap that happened thousands of years ago. The same thing that happened in the days of Noah is going to happen again. So a lot of the women, specifically the women of Judah, who are out there in debauchery and fornication and twerking and all this stuff, if they don't repent, these will be the prime candidates. You better believe it. They will be the first in line to lay with the Nephilim when they come back and reveal themselves.
It started with Eve. And I'm going to say it as a woman. It started with Eve.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Because the women don't seem to like when you say it, so I'll say it. It started with Eve. She first laid with something she was not supposed to. She opened up the door. And because women, especially women of Judah, have all that sense of wanting to know more without doing it righteously. So you go after the zodiacs, you go to the psychic, the palm readers, all of these things, and you're opening up the door for, like you just said, for those Nephilim.
That's right.
Because you're willing to accept knowledge and information from anybody who says what you want to hear.
Exactly. So they want to hear something sweet that caters to their ego, but this ego, if it's not grounded in the word, will lead them towards Nephilim worship. All right, and their first target from the beginning, like you said, with Satan was Eve, and even with the Watchers, the second group of angels to come down, they targeted the women. They want children. Men can't give them children, so they want the women. So that's why, especially in today's society, that's why black men are so disposable to this system, because they can't give forth Nephilim. They're the seed of the Most High God. But if they get the women, they can impregnate the women and bring forth giants again. So the first of these wicked ones were these women. These were the first witches. This is the origin of witches and witchcraft. So they came from heaven thinking they had such great knowledge, and the women lusted after them, and they impregnated the women, and they gave birth to these Nephilim giants. Okay, so that's why the women are the primary target, and we try to empower the sisters with knowledge and with truth, so that they can make decisions on righteousness and not be deceived as Eve was deceived. Okay? So I know I asked you to read it, but let's read it one more time, verse 4.
The book of Enoch, chapter 16, verse 4. You have been in heaven, but all the mysteries had not yet been revealed to you. And you knew worthless ones. And these in the hardness of your hearts you have made known to the women. And through these mysteries women and
first and men work much evil on the earth. So again, there was a sister who commented, I commented to the other day saying, oh, why is it that in some of these videos we talk about some of the wickedness of women? Because they are the prime target. As you see here, they primarily go after the women, and then through the women they entice the men. So we see here the order of sin was through the Watchers, and they enticed these women, and then the men who lusted after those women, they all fell into sin.
The same way in which once Eve committed the sin, she took it back to her husband.
That's right.
To corrupt him.
Let's go to 1 Timothy 2.
Because he wasn't doing what he needed to in terms of being the head. You said 1 Timothy?
Yes. Go ahead. 1 Timothy 2:11.
The book of 1 Timothy chapter 2, beginning at verse 11. Let the women learn in silence with all subjection. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression.
That's right.
Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety.
Amen. So when we teach women righteousness, then they will have the whole armor of God on, so they're not deceived by Satan. So when the watchers or some man with a demonic spirit in him tries to entice or seduce these women, they have the whole armor of God on them already, and they can prevail against that attack. It's a spiritual attack. All right. There's another scripture I'm looking for as well, but it escapes me right now. But he says, it talks about how some people were being deceived by a false gospel and a false doctrine in the same way that Eve was deceived from Satan. All right, but right now it escapes me. But this is what happened to deceive people, especially the women in the beginning, and then the men. And in the last days, we're seeing it happen all over again.
In 2 Corinthians?
2 Corinthians 11. That's right. That's 2 Corinthians 11. Bang. Hold on. 2 Corinthians 11 and 3.
2 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 3. But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Messiah.
All right. So just like Eve was corrupted by Satan, Paul was warning the church at Corinth not to be deceived by doctrine in the same way that Eve was deceived. Because the way of God is so simple and straightforward that they think, oh, well, this couldn't be, how can I explain it? They're looking for some great, mystical, majestical, super, Yahoshua breaks everything down to the least common denominator so that a child can even understand it. These things, these subjects that we're teaching here, even though they're deep, when we explain it properly through the Spirit, even a child can pick it up. And so some people are looking for something that's so, what's the word? So technical or so elaborate that they miss the simplicity of Yahoshua, and Satan will come with something that's all elaborate, but it's a deception. And they think they have something so profound because it seems so complex. When really truth should be simple for anyone to understand it. So the way we are going to describe the glory of heaven or the zodiac, anyone should be able to understand it. It shouldn't be so complex or complicated that you need a degree in order to break it down. All right?
They call it like reading in between the lines.
Yes. 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 Matter of fact, let's get that. Let's go to Revelations 2. Revelations 2. Let's see the warning to Thyatira. And again, this church has specifically to do with Jezebel, or a woman being deceived into Satanism. Revelations 2 and 18.
The book of Revelation chapter 2, beginning at verse 18. And unto the angel of the church in Thyatira write, These things saith the Son of God, who hath his eyes like unto a flame of fire, and his feet are like fine brass. I know thy works, and charity, and service, and faith, and thy patience, and thy works, and the last to be more than the first.
Notwithstanding, I have a few things against thee, because thou sufferest that woman Jezebel,
which calleth herself a prophetess, to teach and to seduce my servants to commit fornication.
To commit fornication. And who taught women fornication?
The Watchers.
The Watchers and the fallen angels. So now they teach women with Jezebel, and then Jezebel comes in and defiles the whole congregation. All right, go ahead.
And to eat things sacrificed unto idols. And I gave her space to repent of her fornication, and she repented not. Behold.
Let's go down to 24 now.
Okay, Book of Revelation chapter 2 verse 24. But unto you I say, and unto the rest in Thyatira, as many as have not this doctrine, and which have not known the depths of Satan as they speak, I will put none other
burden on you. So you have a lot of Israelites who want something so complex and so profound that they're seeking the quote-unquote forbidden knowledge or the depths of Satan. So they think, oh, this is the new stuff. Yeah, I got this hidden in the depths of darkness. And it's complex and it's secret knowledge, and oh, it's exciting when the truth is simple in Yahoshua. But now this church of Thyatira, who's seduced by Jezebel, they're constantly seeking the depths of Satan. And Yahoshua commends those who don't fall into that depths of Satan. Read that again, 24.
The book of Revelation chapter 2 verse 24. But unto you I say, and unto the rest in Thyatira, as many as have not this doctrine.
This Jezebel doctrine, they don't have that doctrine.
And which have not known the depths of Satan as they speak.
They don't need to know the depths of Satan or the hidden mysteries of Egypt and so forth and so on.
I will put upon you none other burden.
But that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. So that what we have already is the word. And hold fast till he come. And if you hold fast, we'll read the same thing you have read for years before, but then he'll open your eyes to see it differently through the Spirit. Okay? So now let's go to Psalms 147. Psalms 147, let's start at verse 1.
The book of Psalm chapter 147, beginning at verse 1. Praise ye Yahuwah, for it is good to sing praises unto our God, for it is pleasant, and praise is comely. Yahuwah doth build up Jerusalem, he gathereth together the outcasts of Israel. He healeth the broken in heart, and bindeth up their wounds. He telleth the number of the stars, he calleth them all by their names.
So, let's go to the screen. He telleth the number of the stars, and he calleth them all by name. So if this sun is the center point, let's say this is the center point of the galaxy, and this zodiac is divided into 12 equal segments, then all of the stars that you see out here, they all fit into one of these constellations. All of them. No matter how far apart they are, they're going to fit into one of these constellations.
Because those lines stretch forever.
Yeah.
That's right. Say that again.
Those lines, they stretch forever.
That's right. They will keep going. These lines will keep stretching into infinity. So all the stars, no matter how many they are, Yahuwah knows them all by name. And when you know them all by name, and you know the meanings of the name, then you can look at this constellation here, this star here, know its name, this one here, that one here, and you know the meanings of their name. You put it together and you got the prophecy of Yahoshua within that particular zodiac sign.